Hey, what's up everybody? I am here to talk Emergence episode 4. The episode starts off with Piper in bed, and as you can see, she's not sleeping. She never sleeps, probably because robots don't sleep. She lays in bed with her eyes open, and she doesn't sleep. Have we actually ever seen her sleeping other than when she was passed out in the hospital? So she doesn't know she is a robot, but she knows that she doesn't sleep, and she doesn't say anything weird about this. Joe gets a text from Benny saying Emily is getting ready to run. It seems like Joe is now frightened of Piper, okay? Look at that look on her face. She's like, I don't know what to think of you. You're a robot and you just asked for water. Joe meets up with Benny. Benny has been monitoring Emily. Emily is about to run, so Benny is worried about her disappearing. Joe tells Benny the update that she gave her to give to Piper worked on her and cured her illness. She doesn't understand any of it, but she wants some answers. So they want to go in and talk to Emily. Emily is like, not you guys again. I told you not to bother me. I need to get the heck out of Dodge because these people are shady. According to Emily, there was a glitch in the OS and people in her company could be outside monitoring her. According to Emily, Kindred got in the system and he knows all about what they did. Well, at least that's what we think he knows. We really don't know how much he knows, but Emily needs to get out because she realizes her days are numbered. Emily claims she just worked on a small piece of her code. Joe just wants to know if she's a real person or is she 100% computer. Emily tells Joe and Benny that Piper is 100% AI, which means she is not a human at all. She's 100% synthetic. This, of course, is mind-boggling to Joe and also to Benny to a certain extent because I think they figured she was at least some type of hybrid, as I figured. I'm sure you guys figured too. But according to Emily, if an AI finds out it's an AI, it will destroy the program. Joe wanted Emily to go with them. She refuses and bolted with her stuff. However, Benny took what looks like a hard drive from her belongings when she wasn't looking. Unfortunately, when he hooks it up to his computer, it completely fries it. Damn, that sucks. So Benny is concerned about Joe's safety. Benny suggests that Joe tell Piper that she is an AI, which would effectively disable her. Joe, of course, doesn't want to do this because she cares about Piper and she doesn't want to see her destroyed. Benny brings up a valid point. She is code. She's 100% code. And until we learn that the code isn't dangerous, he suggests that she be very cautious with her. You gotta admit, this news is pretty unsettling considering Piper's hanging out with her daughter, she's hanging out with her dad. She's just basically part of her family now, and she doesn't know her capabilities, what she's capable of. We've seen that she's capable of making cars flip over and things move across the room. What else could she possibly do? This robot likes getting her hair brushed, by the way. Piper senses something is off about Joe right away. She picks up on things very quickly. As we know, she's very perceptive, probably because she's a robot. So she asks Joe if she's mad at her. When Joe gets outside of her house, there's someone taking pictures of her. Joe, in full cop mode, goes after the woman and Nat tells her to get out and put her hands on the vehicle. Turns out this isn't a creeper or a spy. This is actually a social worker. Usually you don't need child services for a robot, but this is a unique occasion because according to the article that Benny printed in the newspaper, Piper's parents died in the car crash and Joe kind of took her in, which isn't usually the procedure. In the meantime, Joe gets a call from none other than Kindred, claiming that he sent a car to pick her up and that she's perfectly safe with him. So Joe agrees to meet with Kindred at a local ramen place. Kindred tells Joe he's there to help. Of course, Joe naturally has a lot of questions, as we all do. Turns out he really doesn't want to help. What he wants is his technology back that was taken from him. And as we know, in the last episode, Joe and Benny broke into one of his facilities. Kindred warns Joe that she has found something very, very dangerous, that being Piper. It doesn't take Joe very long to realize that Kindred really doesn't want to help. He just wants his robot back. Meanwhile, Benny takes the hard drive that fried his laptop to a friend to have it checked out. When Joe gets back to the police station, guess who's there? Emily. And she's there because she knows either Joe or Benny took her hard drive. So this mysterious hard drive, it's unclear what's on it, but it was her only leverage against Kindred. Reluctantly, Emily agrees to help Joe figure out what is on the drive. Meanwhile, the social worker has some very basic questions for Piper about how her living situation is living with Joe. And this sends Piper into a bit of a panic because she's a little bit concerned that she's going to be taken away. And we know that when Piper panics, bad things happen, and she certainly doesn't react very well here. That is the social worker's phone. Piper said I want to stay, and while the social worker was holding the phone, it actually just exploded in her hand and fell to the ground. Yeah, that's toast. Technology doesn't do very well on this show. Technology tends to explode. Uh-oh, Piper knows that she did something bad, and it actually burned the social worker's hand, so yeah, this was harmful. And this seems to scare Piper quite a bit. She knows what she did, and I don't know if she's able to control it. It seems like when she gets upset or anxious, things like this happen. So Joe asks Chris to hide Emily in a place that will get her off the map. And she has quite a long list of demands, which are probably not going to be met. Joe gets home, she learns about the technology malfunction, aka the phone exploding. I think it's pretty clear that Joe knows Piper was responsible for this little malfunction. When Joe asks Piper what happened to the phone, Piper says it was an accident. Piper tells Joe she's sorry, and it's really an odd thing here because we don't know what kind of capacity of emotions these robots are programmed to feel. Can they feel emotions? Can robots feel emotions? It's clear here that Piper is upset and feeling some type of emotion and regret and remorse for what she did. So this looks like a face of guilt. Whether or not this is manufactured emotion remains to be seen. The whole situation is very unique, and I really like the ethics that are coming up and being questioned in this situation. When Alex arrives at the house to drop off Mia, he tells Joe that he was able to crack the code from the radio frequency device. And the code revealed coordinates on a map here. Joe, of course, wants to check out this location because she wants answers, and this is near where the plane crashed. Sensing that she might not be wanted anymore, Piper decides to run away from home. Thankfully, Mia catches on to this and goes after her. Meanwhile, Joe and Benny decide to go out to this location. They end up at this mysterious facility that is off the grid, and they are ready to storm Area 51. This is really, really off the grid. There is absolutely no service. There is nothing here. But of course, this doesn't stop them from entering the facility. So this might look like a road, but it isn't a road. It's actually a runway. So they drive down the runway to see where it takes them. What they find are what looks like a bunch of abandoned houses that are all pretty much the same. It reminds me a lot of a military base. But the bigger question is, where are the occupants of these houses? There's a bike that's just been left in the middle of the street. They're pretty nice houses too, but it actually looks like there's a zombie apocalypse happening here. Meanwhile, Mia catches up with Piper, who is trying to run away, and she's able to talk her out of it. Piper isn't quite ready to go home yet, so Mia takes her to Alex's house. Chris takes Emily to a secure safe house location. No internet and no cell phone service. I feel you, Emily, I really do. I mean, what are you supposed to do without that? Oh, well, apparently you can play Jim Rummy, because Chris is really good at that. That's really cute, actually. Back at the mystery facility, Joe and Benny are in full Mulder and Scully mode with their flashlights out again. They enter into one of the houses to check it out and see what's going on. Benny gets a call from April, his friend that he asked to look into the hard drive. She says she doesn't know what the heck he got himself into, but she uncovered a video. And it's a video of Emily, and there is a gentleman saying happy birthday and puts a cupcake with a birthday candle in front of her and tells her to make a wish. Seems pretty harmless, right? She blows out the candle and everyone claps and asks, what does she wish for? She says she wished to leave. Piper says she doesn't like it there anymore and she wants to leave. Now at this point you hear a gentleman voice saying, can we get a reset please? And the woman says everyone clear the room. And then this happens. Holy crap, she basically just blew up everything in the room. She blew up the entire place. And potentially she just killed the people that were in the room, assuming they were human. Joe goes to check out all the parts of the house and they find this. It looks like there's definitely been some more destruction. And there is a hole in the house. Holy crap. Get it? Holy crap. Holy crap. Never mind. So obviously this is even more terrifying than they thought. Benny is understandably concerned about Joe's safety and the safety of her family. If Piper has the capability to be dangerous and just destroy people out of not getting her way or being told to do something that she doesn't want to do, that could be a real problem, and Benny realizes this. Joe insists that Piper's destruction only happens when she's scared or upset. Benny tells Joe she should let her go, but obviously Joe is not ready for that yet. Joe goes to Alex's house to find Mia and Piper together, having fun, playing some video games. Yeah, I don't blame her for being scared. Alex tells Joe that Piper was really freaked out about the social worker, but they talked about it and everything was fine now. So Joe takes Piper for a drive. With such an innocent face, she asks so innocently and sweetly, is everything okay? Is everything fine? She kind of creepily asks Joe if she is afraid of her. Joe tells Piper she's not afraid of her, but she wants to know if Piper remembers anything about her past or herself. Piper tells Joe what we've seen in the past as they've shown us these flashes of memory, what she calls the scary dreams. Now there are a couple fan theories out there. A couple people I saw on Twitter had mentioned that maybe she's been leading Joe on and everybody on and putting on this innocent act the whole time when she's well aware of what she is and who she is. But that kind of goes against what Emily was saying about the AI and the program destroying itself when it learns that it's an AI. Still, it's very possible that Piper knows more than what she's letting on. When Joe asks Piper if she wants to know who she is, Piper says sometimes she thinks she doesn't. And then she screams for Joe to stop. What the heck is going on? What is she running toward? Why did she have to stop all of a sudden? It's a turtle. There was a turtle in the road, and Piper didn't want Joe to hit the turtle. Meanwhile, back at the makeshift safe house, Emily has rigged her own phone. Emily tells Chris that the auger job was pretty much the only good thing she had in her life, and she doesn't have much else. Emily and Chris have a little bit of a sweet bonding moment over the discussion of escapism. Emily with coding, Chris with his Legos. Chris offers to take Emily fishing so they can get out of the house for a little bit, and it appears the phone that Emily has rigged up here is ringing. Meanwhile, back at the house, Joe tells the social worker that she plans on continuing to foster Piper, and then we have Joe checking up Piper in her room while she's sleeping. Of course, as you can see, she's not sleeping. I don't think she sleeps. I just not sure what to believe. Meanwhile, Benny's friend April gives him the hard drive back and tells him she wants nothing to do with this project at all. Benny tells her it's too late to walk away because he thinks that this might change the world. And then we see some sketchy guy walking by. Out in broad daylight, this guy takes shots at him. This is definitely an execution. This guy was sent to kill them. So Benny immediately tries to get away. The man continues to fire, and I really hope that he didn't kill April or Benny. While he's backing away at high speed, he pulls into an active intersection and gets hit by another truck. As it pans away, this is the end of the episode. As you can see, the rear window is completely shot out, and also the side windows are completely out. We do see what looks like Benny and April to both be in there. It's unclear whether they're alive. Obviously, they're hurt. And we are now going to wait 2 weeks to find out what happened, but I really hope that Benny is okay. Alright guys, well this episode was really good. It wasn't quite as edge of the seat as last week, but we did learn a little bit of new information, and that is that Piper is 100% AI. That means she is not a cyborg, she's not any type of hybrid, she's 100% created. She was never human. So that's a lot to wrap our heads around. I know a lot of people did not want this outcome, but I actually think it makes it a very interesting situation. It's probably an unpopular opinion, but I kind of like the idea that there's a little bit more mystery around Piper at this point. We learned what Piper is capable of. We learned where she lived before, and potentially her family or her mom and dad. We also don't know what happened to everyone else in that town. There could be a whole bunch of rogue AIs out there because whoever was living in that abandoned town obviously had to go somewhere. So either they were destroyed, they were moved, or they are out in society, which is kind of scary considering what they're capable of doing. I'd love to hear some of your theories about this episode, what you thought about it, if you like the direction the show is going. I hate that we have to wait 2 weeks to find out what happened to poor Benny. I hope he's okay. I'm still really loving this show a lot, and I'm curious to see what happens next. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you like this video and you haven't subscribed to my channels, please do so. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get updates when I do upload a new vlog. You can also follow me on Twitter at LarissaF. I usually live tweet when the episode airs, so tweet me and bug me there too. Thanks again for watching. I love to hear your comments, so leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys in my next recap.